Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I just want to briefly run through my own budget, talking about my own experiences with how I've managed to become more budget savvy over the years, and some of the, I guess, tricks that I use to lower my budget amount. So none of you know, obviously, because I've never made an actual full detailed budget on this channel, but I'm thinking about doing one for the month of August, so keep an eye out for that, or if you're like interested, let me know. But I used to have a pretty lengthy budget when I first started out, which was like about maybe 6 years ago when I first started working, and I would just have like a sort of lax budget, and I never stuck to it, but I just like the idea of a budget because it makes you seem like you're more like you've got your life together if you have a budget. But like if you don't implement a budget properly, it's just it's not going to help you. So why is it, I know that some people are probably going to roll their eyes and be like, oh, why is a budget important? Like, it sounds so lame or whatever, like why do I have to do this, blah blah blah. But I can tell you that there have been times even when I've started creating a budget and then where I've just like totally neglected what I've set out for myself, and I will just like blindly withdraw money from my account. And it makes a huge difference when you don't keep an eye on how much you're spending and how much you have, and you just keep mindlessly consuming and buying and spending. Your money goes through quickly and you don't even notice it. And when you check back, and if you don't keep yourself accountable, you don't have things written down like how much you've spent, you will be amazed at how much money like just like flies over you. Like, is that even a proper saying? I don't even know. But what I'm trying to say is that money goes by really quickly when you don't have an eye on your finances. So that happened to me from personal experience, and I think I briefly touched on this in my other video where after I started working, like, you know, when you're in your when you just graduated from high school and then you're like in your early 20s, I was gonna say early teens, but that makes no sense, but like when you first graduated and you feel like an adult and you have all this money coming in and you're feeling like, yes, I have my life together, and then you don't keep track of your money. That's what happened to me, is that I blew through my money so quickly that before the month ended, I did not even have enough money to like go eat lunch or something like that. It was really dramatic. And I specifically remembered that there was one time when I was like working quite far away from my house, and I was like considering like, do I have like enough money for transportation, or should I eat or whatever. And so what I would do is just buy cheap bread from the local bakery and just eat that in my lunch break, because I couldn't afford to go eat at a restaurant if I wanted to make it through the rest of the month. And that is just ridiculousness when you are in your early adult life. And I think that budgeting is just a very important tool for you to have and for you to know, and it's beneficial. And I know that a lot of people throw this term around like, oh, I budget, but like, do you really? And you don't have to be like super into it and be like, you know, really headstrong about it and follow Dave Ramsey's system or using the envelope system, which is what I started off using. But the only difference is that I don't have any personal debts, which Dave Ramsey created that program or created that system for people who are struggling to get out of debt. So if that is you, definitely recommend the Dave Ramsey system. You can search up on it on YouTube. Dave Ramsey has his own podcast, and there's lots of clips on YouTube. There's lots of people online that talk about Dave Ramsey and how it actually works. And I'm here to tell you that budgeting works whether or not that you're in debt. If you just want to be financially savvy and get on top of your finance game, you need to budget. You need to know how much you make, how much you spend, and how much money you're willing to put in every single category. Because when you don't, you just go crazy. You just spend more money when you don't know how much you spend. And that's just reality. I don't know, maybe I'm just like an extreme spendthrift and I spend my money a lot, but I've also transformed my ways. I used to be someone that like spent money like crazy, but now I am a very thrifty person, and you can ask my friends that I've totally changed. Like, I'm super cheap. Like, currently I'm sitting on the floor of my bedroom and I do not have a bed because I do not want to buy a mattress. And some people might be like, oh my god, you're so cheap and blah 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 blah, but like, I just sleep on the couch, and there's no shame in my game, okay? Like, and I feel like the important reason about why budgeting work is you need to figure out why you are budgeting and for what are you budgeting and saving money for. Because if you're just saving money to save money, you're gonna go a little bit stir crazy and you're just gonna overspend. I kind of had experience with that too. So now I have a focused goal on myself and what I'm saving for. So what I'm saving for now is my retirement, and I'm hoping to save up at least like 80% of my income for the next 5 or 6 years. I'm hoping that I can complete a large chunk of my retirement goals by the time that I'm 30. But this is what I mean. You have to set a goal, and you have to be very clear about your goal and what you want, how much money you want to save towards that goal. And this is the theory, that this is the explanation that I shared to my friend when they were asking me about why I think budgeting is important and why is it important to save money. Because I like talking about budgeting all the time with my friends. So in this day and age, you know, it's not uncommon for people to buy like $1,500 pairs of shoes. Again, this is Hong Kong dollars, so I will write down the US currency somewhere on the screen if I don't forget. If I do forget, you can just tell me in the comments and I'll let a girl know. But yeah, people buy shoes that are expensive. They buy like designer gear and things like that, and I get it. It's nice to treat yourself occasionally to these kinds of fancy things, but for me it's just not worth it. And because my friend was talking about how they wanted to buy this like expensive pair of shoes, like they were Jordans or something. I have no knowledge in shoes, so I don't even know, so don't quote me on that. But they were like telling me the price of the shoes, and I was just shocked. I was like, you would drop that amount of money? And I just don't understand it. Just think about it. Would you rather spend $1,500 and continue working at a job that doesn't really give you joy or purpose or happiness waking up in the morning? Or would you rather take that sum of money and save it towards another goal that you want to do, whether it be retirement, going on vacation, you know, funding it for your own entrepreneurial endeavors, or starting your own like web business, or creating a website, buying equipment for a side gig? I don't know. The world is limitless to your possibilities. Is that even the proper thing? I don't even know, but you get my drift. So I was just like, I would much rather buy a cheaper pair of shoes that work perfectly fine and save the rest of that money towards my bigger goals. So this is the part of the video where I talk to you about some of the things that I would not want to save money on that help me keep my budget lean. I don't buy expensive phones, newest technology, never. No way. Like when the first, what was the flagship phones or whatever, like iPhone X came out, it was like $10,000. Like, I was just side-eyeing all these people, like, you guys would drop 10 grand on a phone that's gonna go out of style in a year. Like, and y'all know that Apple be playing that game where they don't let your phone update, so that's just hilarious. Also, I don't use an iPhone, so I'll show you guys my jacked up phone, okay? Prepare to be amazed. So I've had this phone for 2 years. This is a LG V10, and I got the model that was when I first bought this, the V20 was out, but I got one model down because or the previous model to this one, because it was cheaper. And you can see my phone is like super busted. Like, yeah, like the screen protector is like on its way out. But even though it is like this and it doesn't look like glamorous or fresh or whatever, I'm still gonna use it until it's on its last legs. And honestly, I'm thinking about transitioning to a flip phone, and people might be like, oh my god, you're like so crazy or whatever, because we live in a technology age. But I just can't justify dropping like over $5,000 on a phone. Like, I know like cost per use, you know, if you can get it to like 3 or 4 years, it is worth your money if you invest in like an expensive phone. But knowing how our society runs, I know that most people go through their phones very quickly and want to get a new model when the new one comes out, and for me that doesn't justify the cost at all. Another thing that I don't spend a lot of money on, I don't spend a lot of money on shoes or clothes. Like, you'll see in the videos that are to come that I wear the same clothes all the time. I rotate through my clothes. No shame in my game, okay? Like, I don't understand people that spend lots of money, especially buying fast fashion, which is not really good for our environment at all. That's a totally different video story to tell, but I don't really want to support that by buying a lot of things. So some of the things that I buy, usually I buy things that are on sale, and I proudly tell that to people that I got things on sale. Other things that I don't spend money on, nowadays I don't spend money on eating out, since I turned to cooking at home to lessen my grocery bill amount. I don't spend money on buying bottles of water anymore. I used to do that like crazy before. I used to buy bottled water all the time, like every single day. That's just a huge cost. Next thing I don't buy is I don't pay for an expensive phone plan. I don't understand these people. And I know the different types of models and makes and whatever, like iPhone, I guess if you have an iPhone you need a specific plan, because I haven't seen cheap plans for like iPhone. I guess people would assume like paying $200 a month is cheap, but so again, this is Hong Kong dollars, so I've seen people that spend like $1,000 a month on their phone bill, or like $500 a month, or like $600 a month. That is so mind-boggling. I don't understand why you pay so much money. Like, $600 you could use for better things. Like, you could use that for other things in your budget, or you can save that money. My phone bill cost is only $98, and if you guys are in Hong Kong, I'm sure you're aware of it. The brand that I use, or not the brand, the phone plan that I use is from Sun Mobile, and it gets through my basic needs perfectly. Like, I don't understand people that need like so many gigs of data, or whatever the unit of measurement is for that. Like, they want to get unlimited data or whatever. I want to do that too, but I wasn't willing to sacrifice the cost it takes for that, and I think $98 is more than enough per month for that. Especially, like, honestly, the times that people use their phone, like if you're at the office, wouldn't you already have internet access? But I guess it'd be more convenient to be on your phone, but you can still get like a basic data plan, you know? Like, you don't need a fancy smanchy like phone bill that costs you an arm and a leg. So that's something I never would pay for. This last point sort of coincides with the points that I made earlier, but I do not buy things that are currently in trend. I do not buy new season things. I do not buy hot trend items that will go out of style. I don't buy the latest seasons of anything. I also do not pay for things that are unnecessary. So some of the things that I don't buy, that I don't have a vacuum cleaner in my home, and I don't have a television in my home. I used to have those things, and those things broke. They're unreliable, so I don't feel like shelling out a large amount of money for that. Why do you need a television when most of us live our lives on the internet? We have YouTube, we have Netflix, we have, I don't know, you can buy movies to rent online. I don't need a vacuum cleaner because I just use good old broom and a dustbin, and that gets the job done. Those are some of the things that I do not pay for that help me keep my budget lean and minimal. So if you're interested in me talking more about my budget and how I budget and the exact numbers, I guess, of how I keep costs low on my budget, just leave me a comment down below and let me know. So yeah, that's the video for today. I guess it was like a little bit redundant, but I hope it was informative to you. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.